Okay, in this video, let's take a look at the golf swing of Harold Varner III. Great golf swing, really fun player to follow. He's got a very short, sort of simple golf swing, and pound for pound, he really moves it out there. He's probably 5'9", 165, 170, and for that size, he really moves it. And if you look at, he's certainly a great junior player, great college player, like most guys on tour, but at his stature, he does have a lot of power. And control of the ball really coming from the club face control that he has throughout his bag. You see it with all the clubs. Fairly weak grip actually with his left hand. Sort of a similar grip we'll see looking at the putting as well, the way his hands sort of fit together on the club. But as he takes the club back, he's very cognizant, like a lot of players today, of not twisting that club face open, so keeping the face completely 90 degrees to that target line, or to the shaft plane rather. And even slightly more. So outside, face not rotating open whatsoever. And that creates a flat wrist. And so if you look at the wrist position here, that left wrist is already flat, the right wrist bending backward. And the club very closed looking at that point. So 10, 15 years ago, we would have said the face is too closed there. But like you said, now that we're teaching better ways to play golf and swing the golf club, that keeps the face totally square. Left wrist completely flat, as you can see here, and it shallows beautifully. It really does come down right down to that plane. So at this point here, I love to see when the golf club gets this close or this far down in the downswing that the shaft is parallel to the plane and slightly above it. That's a great picture there. We know the left wrist is in good position for the club face to be square. And there comes the club right down the plane. And we'll see from the face-on view that there's a tremendous amount of lag here. His hands are actually well in front, but that's going to hit a perfect draw shot. I know he likes to move the ball this direction. So he has the club swinging in to out, hands in front, and that creates a perfect draw. There goes that club down the line more like a draw player. He really chases it, which we'll also see from the face-on view with that upper body rotating through, which as he chases forward through it, he can control the draw. If he wasn't to rotate that hard, it can be difficult to keep it from getting into a hook situation. From the face-on view, we look at the grip. The right hand certainly looks pretty normal. We've got that V going up to the right shoulder. Left wrist, left hand, a little weaker than normal. We see this position here with the left hand a little more rotated to the left than some players, but the way he does it, with what we call sort of a weak left and strong right. By the time he's in this position here, he's twisting the left hand under that way, and that controls that club face. And for some players, they just feel comfortable having the left hand on their weaker. Doesn't work for most amateurs, but for some pros, they love it. And as he gets it up there, massive turn. You can see how much turn he has there. I don't know what that is, but 120 degrees or something. It's a huge turn, huge hip turn, perfect pivot motion where his body is on the angle here. Club face slightly closed as he starts it down like most good players, keeping that width, massive lag. And like we said from the other clip earlier, he does have what I would call excessive lag at this point in the downswing. The hands are leading, but a lot. I mean, it's hard to get that ball launching high enough sometimes with that much lag, but club face control is there. Left wrist in perfect position there, and you can see that bowing action late, but it's in there. And he really chases with the upper body, really rotating through to keep that thing from hooking, keep that draw under control. When we look at the approach shot here, we will see great setup, super athletic looking in terms of balance. And as he goes up, once again, watch that left wrist at this point right here. Hands are on the plane, club is slightly above the plane, but you can see that left wrist is twisting underneath, which keeps the club face in control. Left arm quite low, along the shoulder line probably because the camera angle is slightly off here. And the club face, if we look at the angle, where that face is relative to the shaft, slightly closed. And then as he comes down, planning it out beautifully. Like I said, just imagine this camera being a little more this direction, and he'd be dead on the plane there. Possibly slightly inside out, but if he chases enough, he's going to catch that ball really good. He's likely to hit some shots that track off to the right, but with that much lag, it'd be a push. He's not going to get into a lot of trouble. And with the wedges, he is really, really accurate. We've seen in some of the other videos how players keeping it on plane would actually drop slightly forward this way to keep that club above the plane. And he actually stays in posture, and if anything, looks like he almost works the opposite direction for some shots. But that's because he's more of a draw player, and that's going to send the club out to the right and create more of this move. If you're a player that's struggling with a hook, battling a hook, you want to stay in the posture. If you're trying to hit a draw, it doesn't really matter if there's a slight movement. Barely up or staying in the same position. Basically the same posture that he started with. Slightly lower because of the sit into the legs, of course. The hands being a little off the swing plane there would indicate the club's going to go more this way out to the right, hitting that draw. If we look at the putting setup, it's very interesting. Like I said, his hands tend to be what we call weak left, strong right. And you can tell that because you can see the fingers on the inside of that left hand so easily from this angle. Normally, if the hand was turned over farther this way, you wouldn't see those fingers that way. But that is natural for him, obviously, for his full shots and his putting, to have more of a opposing type of grip. And for him, I'm sure he feels like it gives him more face control, less movement going on. But if you are someone who struggles with keeping the left hand sort of tracking down the line, that can be a helpful thing to keep that hand turned a little more to the left for the putting setup. Lastly, we'll look at the wedge shot here. And like we've said in some other videos, if you can return that club to the plane, like it is at address, good things are going to happen through impact, especially if this club is tracking, the grip is tracking left through the hitting zone. So we want to see the club tracking this direction and the player staying in that posture. So if those things happen, we tend to be very accurate with the wedges. So we love the takeaway, we love the plane, length of the swing, great width, great extension with the left arm. Then as it comes back down, right back to where it started, and he is still exactly in the same posture, head in the same position, quiet with the feet and the hands and the shaft tracking left along that yellow line. And that's how you control those wedges. If you see the wedge handle flying out here and the club head also flying out this way, you'll see that player hitting shots even with a wedge going this way and sometimes off to the right. So to be a great accurate player, which PGA Tour players are, you have to keep that handle moving left and in posture so you can keep that rotation. And when the club comes out over here, we can't see it because of the not being high speed, but this face is dead square through here, and he hit this ball in there about a foot from the flag. Okay, well, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Harold Varner III, great young player. Thanks so much for watching the video today, and if it's your first time to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.